Think about the last time you walked into a hospital room. The pale walls, the harsh lighting, the cold metal bed. You likely felt an immediate, involuntary spike in anxiety. Now compare that to stepping into your favorite neighborhood cafe, surrounded by rich woods and earthy tones. Your heart rate naturally slows down. You relax. We usually write off these sudden shifts in our mood as aesthetic preferences, the result of a designer's good taste or a lucky furniture choice. But that overlooks the mechanics beneath the surface. What we experience as a simple room color is a direct collision between physical light waves and human biology, hiding right in plain sight. Understanding the physics of color allows us to intentionally weaponize it. We can design our environments to provide the exact levels of focus, energy, and peace of mind we need for specific tasks. Mastering our physical spaces requires us to treat color as a psychological tool rather than simple decoration. Physically, objects lack inherent color. A perceived green leaf is just our brain interpreting a specific bouncing wavelength, while others are absorbed. That wave enters the eye, striking the retina. There, rods measure brightness, while cones process red, green, and blue light. But the eye only collects raw data. The actual experience happens in the brain, which links these signals to human evolutionary history. When we see a lush, vibrant green, our brain automatically signals safety and abundant resources. That's what that wavelength represented for millions of years. Because color relies on evolutionary hardwiring, our emotional reactions to hues are completely involuntary, driven by the brain's attempt to navigate the natural world. People have been tracking this effect for centuries. Back in the 1660s, Sir Isaac Newton used a glass prism to prove that color was a property of light itself, rather than physical objects. He then organized this linear spectrum into a circle, creating the very first color wheel, a tool designers still use to map how different hues relate to one another. But the map grew more complex in the 20th century. Psychoanalyst Carl Jung observed that colors held shared, universal symbolic meanings inherited by all humans, moving the study of color from pure physics into the realm of the collective unconscious. Modern researchers like Angela Wright codified this, demonstrating that while our personal color preferences vary, our psychological reactions to specific hues are practically universal. This evolution has turned the color wheel into a verified psychological blueprint, allowing us to predict human behavior with remarkable accuracy. Applying these principles allows you to dictate the feel of any room. The color wheel splits into two functional categories. On one side are the advancing warm colors, reds and yellows, which physically increase heart rate. On the other are receding cool colors, blues and greens, which slow your respiration. Consider a workspace. By utilizing receding cool tones, like a balanced green, you actively reduce eye strain. Green is the easiest color for your eyes to process, which lowers blood pressure and creates an environment suited for sustained intellectual focus. Contrast that with a kitchen. By utilizing advancing warm colors like yellow, you create a space that increases metabolism and stimulates morning energy. It serves as a biological signal to wake up and engage. These categories also manipulate the physical perception of a room's dimensions. Lighter, cooler colors reflect light and push walls outward to make small spaces feel expansive, while dark, warm colors pull walls inward to make cavernous rooms feel cozy. To manage these heavy psychological effects without overwhelming the brain, designers use a mathematical framework called the 60-30-10 rule. 60% is your dominant foundation, usually the walls. 30% is a secondary color, like furniture, which supports the mood. The final 10% is a bold accent, providing just enough visual friction to keep the space interesting. There is one final variable: artificial lighting. Light bulbs have a color temperature. If you use a cool blue-white bulb in a warm beige room, the conflicting light waves will mutate your paint color, often making it look sickly or gray. Your walls function as a biological interface. By making intentional choices based on how light interacts with your brain, you can design an environment that nurtures the exact state of mind you need to succeed.